Hey guys, Rob at Feedbackwrench. I got another video. We help all sorts of small businesses, but this video again is for these accountants, bookkeepers, CPA firms that want to head upward and forward. And I tell you what, I'm going to talk about two things that was really different about my little firm that I built, Nuance Financial, with my friend Nick and Ed. They still run the business. They do a great job. But since then, I've helped scores of accountants set up and run amazing little outsourced accounting firms. And again, go watch the other videos. The big differences are why we went from 0 to about 150 small businesses. And I just want to tell you a story that illustrates the big difference between our firm and what most of the other firms were. So, I had a website out there. We didn't do any paid advertising. But one day I was going into the office. I didn't go into the office a lot. I'd be out networking and doing stuff with people, and we'll touch on that in a minute. But I get this phone call, and this gal was a business owner. She's like, hey, I own a business. Long story short, I was hoping that maybe you can help us with our business taxes. My guy, he is getting so expensive. Every year for the last 3 or 4 years, he keeps raising his rates. He goes up like $100 a year. It's super frustrating. We just feel like we're paying too much. Absolutely. Well, tell me about your business. How long you been in business for? What's your operations look like? Who's all in the business? What kind of profits are you making? What is most important for you? Where are you guys? What are your goals for your business? What are your goals financially? Like, what are you trying to accomplish? Where are you at in things? Right? So I spend probably 30 minutes talking to her, and they had been paying $1,300 a year for their taxes, and they had an LLC and 2 personal tax returns at $1,300. And she called me because she was upset that it was too expensive. When we were done engaging with her and her husband, they ended up signing up for $500 a month, paying $6,000 a year. How? Why? Why was it so different? Well, this is just meant to illustrate my first point. Why was Nuance Financial so much different? Why was it able to take off the way it was? And to this day, I think they're still doing a fantastic job, and you can go check them out. But I also have a whole stack. I got binders full, like Romney used to say, binders full of accountants. I got all sorts of folks that I know do what I'm about to talk about. The first thing is it needs to be about value. And most of you are like, oh, value-based selling, value-based business, that's great. Let me just add on to that a little bit, okay? The thing about excellent services and excellent sales is that it's in tune with how you operate and what your solution is, but it's primarily in tune with what's important to that customer. What is it that they're really looking for? What's the problem they have? What's important to them? What do they value? How do they spend their time? And when you spend time in your process of understanding who that customer really is, which means you don't take a phone call for somebody who has a tax return and you ask them if they have a business, they tell you that they're paying $1,300, and the next thing you do is you tell them, well, I'm going to be way more money than that. Just so you know, we're going to be way more than that. I think you're getting a good deal. You should probably just stay there. No, what you do is you tell me about your business. Tell me how you got here. When did you start it? What was that like? How many employees do you have? What do your profits look like? Who processes your payroll? Have you looked at are you still in an LLC? Talk to me about the tax planning you do every year. Talk to me about the process that you have for payroll. Talk to me about the process you have for AR. How do you bill your clients? How are you invoicing them? What kind of investments do you have? Are you only using qualified stuff? Have you looked at getting involved in real estate? You just start, hey, have you ever heard of this? Do you like the idea of something like that? Talk to me about how you guys spend your time. What's in the business? And now you don't pepper them with those questions, but you have a genuine curiosity to actually unbox that stuff. And what you're going to find a lot of information. You're going to find out what makes this person tick. And while you're doing that, you want to do a little bit of sharing about yourself. You want to find common ground personally, right? You'll hear me a lot of times talk about you want to move the ball down the field professionally while simultaneously connecting personally. And connecting personally is all about genuine curiosity about their business, genuine curiosity about what life is like in their shoes, right? If you can get them to tell you what life is like, you're going to be able to connect with them. Not only that, but you're going to have opportunity to latch on to what's important to them. You're going to find out what's valuable. So the first big difference that we had in Nuance Financial was we were armed in the back of our head with what we figured was financially valuable to a small business. And we understood that it's more than just this tax return fee. We understood that it's more than the transactional fee. In fact, we were valuable not because we saved them the most in taxes, not because we were the best at the bookkeeping, but we were like a one-stop shop that consolidated a handful of services that when put together make life really easy for somebody, right? Now, I had some learning through this, but if you think about it, there are a ton of businesses out there where if you can just do a handful of things together, there's a synergy between those services that make life really easy for somebody. While I'm here, can you just do this, right? And what we found is that by doing excellent bookkeeping and making sure that the books are immaculate, what that does is allow you to also provide tax planning. But the main thing that that's going to do is you're going to get to know that business. You're going to know that business at a level that financial planner would love, that insurance guy would be dying for. In fact, most of what I found out, most of the reason why I understood what was valuable to businesses was because I understood the financial impact from a perspective of insurance planners, like commercial insurance planners, because I got a bunch of training there, and investment advisors and estate planning. And when you start to hear these guys, I'm a consultant or I'm a retirement planner, an investment advisor, or a CFP or whatever it is, and you're like, I was getting training on how to do well at that, and they're like, you have to meet the accountant. The most important person you have to talk to is the accountant, because most business owners are going to think that accountant is God. And so what was weird is I was equipped with this perspective to understand that if you know the books and if you see the tax return, there's nothing you can't do. In fact, most of the training I got from these old Lutheran guys in Thrive, and they were great. They had been selling insurance for 1 million years, kind of walk around and hit everything with the insurance hammer. But what they taught me was like, if you can get your hands on a tax return, here are the different things that's going to show you. And here are the impacts that you can have on the business. So all this being said, guys, is I understood what was going to be financially valuable. I would take the time to actually learn about that business, and I would use questions to identify their perspective, what it was like to be in their shoes. But then I also knew a whole series of different things to expose whether there was risk, whether there's missed opportunities, whether they're doing something that I know we can do better. And at the core of them, it was like, hey, it was S Corp, a lot of S Corp. And then it was a lot of just, is there pain in your life? Are things difficult? So the first thing that we did really well is we understood what was valuable to people. And then we also did a good job of extracting out of them what was important and valuable and understanding their story as a business owner. Because entrepreneurs are complex creatures. They didn't get where they are through a simple, I went to school and I got a job. And then I got another job. And then I got promoted and got another job. No. Most entrepreneurs and business owners have a significant rap sheet on their path to become who they are. And by rap sheet, I just mean they have a journey and they have tensions that no other income source will provide. It's a very unique thing. So when you lean in and you hear what they've wrestled through, find out what it was like through 2008 and 2009. Find out, how many people have you hired? Do you like hiring? Would you rather have lots of business? What are your goals? What are your dreams? What have you failed at? And you just tune into that. You're going to hear them rant and talk, and you're going to hear stuff. And that equips you with what's valuable. And then if you have these little points, the S Corp tax planning thing, are they wasting time? Is their operation just sloppy? Can you apply value to how improving their efficiencies and making their life easier and doing this stuff for them impacts their efficiency. Because what you'll see is if you can impact efficiency in a business, that's much more impactful than cost. If all you're doing is running around and selling on price and low price, you're a loser. You're not going to win. In fact, that's the old way of selling. The new way of selling is to be in tune to what's valuable to them and then apply these core value things. And I knew that efficiency, I learned this from my dad at Ziegler. I knew that efficiency, if you could move that lever genuinely, and you don't want to manipulate them with this number, because if you come in at a business owner like, I'll save you 30 hours a month, and your 30 hours a month is worth $20,000 an hour. Like, you can't be manipulative about it, but they get it. Like, I waste time here, I waste time at the end of the year, whatever it is. But I just knew that S Corp tax thing, every red-blooded American business owner just doesn't want to overpay in taxes. I knew that if I could impact and communicate well the value in terms of us making their life easy, just do this stuff. Get this monkey off my back. I don't want bookkeeping, tax, accounting. Get it away from me. Just let me do my thing, because that's the way life should be anyways. And then I knew if I could just strongly convey to them we'd do it well. That value proposition, the number one thing we did different than anybody else is because I was so good at connecting with people, hearing their story, and conveying value, asking questions to highlight those value propositions or those value points, and learn and know and apply what I found was valuable for other people and to bring those up so that they were kind of feeling that tension. That was huge. And by the time we were done, we were in position to these people had connected with us personally. We liked each other because there was usually a camaraderie. We like people that take interest in us. And if you take interest in somebody and you genuinely hear their struggles of their business, man, it's like getting to know their kid, and you're going to be connected to them deeply. And then I would highlight what I found was valuable. And there's kind of this 1-2 punch or back and forth of asking great questions, but also bringing up, one of the things that we've found most business owners value is this. Has that been important to you? Do you like the idea of this? I love that. Do you like the idea of just having a one-stop shop? Do you like the idea of us just doing it all for you behind the scenes and just shoot you an email every month? Do you like the idea? I love the word, do you like the idea of this? Because it's how you can test the waters with an assumptive close. So we added value. The second thing that was super different is that I didn't rely on just calling. Now, I am, and probably my strength is professional selling, right? So one thing that I learned in the financial services industry is that you have to have front-end activity of prospecting. You have to ask about 10 to 15 times a day somebody to have a meeting with you in order to have a conversation about what they do and what you do to see if there's an opportunity in order to land appointments. Everything in business, particularly in business services and high dollar items like this where you're impacting a business, it's about front-end activity. And the reason why it's about front-end activity is because you will create a mathematical inevitability of having more people that are interested. Now you have two things. You have the math game of understanding you need 30 meetings to get 10 appointments, or 30, you got to ask 40 people for an appointment to get 10. Once you get 10 appointments, you need 30 appointments for you to get 2 customers, right? You work your sales funnel math. There's certainly a probability to it. Now my close rate was like 95%, if not higher. In fact, to this day, my close rate's probably too high because I need to get in front of more people. But what I had done was I had gone out and just decided to network and kind of bump around and meet people and ask questions and make phone calls and send emails, and I genuinely prospected. The majority of our prospecting, though, it wasn't just me, it was Nick, and basically what it is as you meet people, you show a genuine curiosity. So what you have to do is you have to find ways to intersect with people. You need to have conversations with them, which in COVID is kind of weird, right? Like, I don't talk to many people. People have headphones in now all the time. They have face masks on. We're not supposed to get close to people. It's a challenge, right? But there's things you can do online and in video, which I'm going to get there. But, I joined a BNI group, and BNI group has its failures. It's usually filled with a bunch of people that don't have successful businesses yet. They're growing. I went and did lunch and learns at real estate and that was kind of the bread and butter. I just picked real estate agents. I'm like, these guys make money. They need to mitigate their taxes. We can make their life better. And then it was construction guys, right? We just started to post on Facebook and do some things to get in front of the guys that we went to school with, really, that had their own businesses. And so we were different because I went out and proactively sold and engaged with people, and then I ran these excellent meetings. And what was cool is there's this exponential jump, or really what kind of curve is that? The hockey stick curve. Man, it's been a long time since I've been in school. Anyways, what you find is you do that activity over a sustained period of time. You get lots of meetings, and as you get meetings, you get people signing up, and as you get people signing up, all of a sudden you have this opportunity to execute. And while you're doing that, you have this opportunity for referrals. And while you have referrals there, it compounds as soon as time happens. So it starts with activity, moves to a meeting. The meeting moves to people signing up. As people sign up, you'll get referrals. And as you get referrals, you get reviews. And as you get reviews, you can do digital marketing and kind of pile it on. And all of a sudden, you have this compelling funnel that kind of heads your way. A mix of in-person networking and proactive sales, even phone calls, cold calls, relationship building, networking, being involved at BNI, chambers of commerce, going to the industry that you want to go after. That's probably the biggest thing is pick an industry and find the most connected people, whether it's the brokerage for the real estate agents, or if you're at an association meeting for whatever sector that you're in. But the two biggest differences was that we knew how to connect value, and I did proactive sales. And when you put those two things together with the execution levels that Nick and Ed did, and that's the thing, almost to a fault, these guys are all over every customer call in a good, positive way. And when you can combine those with high levels of execution, you're going to have a ton of success. So I just wanted to share that because it was an interesting thing that we learned. I think that we have something special. I've had a couple of phone calls recently with a lot of you accountants. Now, if you want help conveying this value, you can take a website with video and a website with great messaging, and then there's ways that you can fill your funnel using paid search ads and remarketing. But your website can genuinely take all of this value conversation that I'm having. I will work with you to get that on a website for you. And that's probably our biggest thing here. We have a custom designer that knows how to build fantastic websites. We will build something unique and excellent for you, but we'll also make sure that we're doing what it takes in order to position you to help convey to people that you are an industry expert. You'll help solve their problems, and people will trust you more often because of your website. We build websites that become salespeople for you, and they will genuinely help you out. And it's so important to make sure you don't just have a business card website. When you do this and we go through our process, we know how to make sure that we connect with people, we clearly communicate what you offer, and then we show people how you work to make their life better. And I think that's unique from anybody else out there. Not only that, but we're really good at setting up and getting you hooked up with great ads so that you have good lines in the water. You know, when you're fishing, you and two other people go fishing and you're gonna troll, you put out a couple of Rapalas behind you, you got a couple lines in the water. We'll make sure that you have the best lines in the water to help catch things. And then we'll give you a website that's a genuine sales tool and we'll help you. So good luck, God bless. I hope that this helps you build an excellent business. Go to feedbackwrench.com or just reach out and book on my calendar. We'd love to help you out. Good luck, God bless.